How's it going, everybody? I wasn't planning on going back to review this movie because I saw it a few weeks ago, but last night it won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, which really got me thinking about whether or not it actually deserved it. So here's my review of The Revenant. This movie was directed by Alejandro Iñárritu, who just last year gave us Birdman, which I think fully deserved all of the awards that it won. I think Birdman was a pretty perfect movie, because in hindsight I have a lot of trouble finding anything wrong with it. So, if your last film won the Academy Award for Best Motion Picture, that lays such high expectations on the next movie that you make. So, given the way that I felt about Birdman, I was pretty excited about what kind of movie this guy was going to put out next. And early last year, when I learned about the actors who had signed on for this movie, and after I saw the first trailer, those expectations just kept on growing. If you've seen my review of Star Wars The Force Awakens, I mentioned a similar build-up of my expectations. But my expectations for Star Wars had just gotten out of control by the time I saw the movie. But it didn't matter. Star Wars lived up to the hype for me, whereas this movie kind of fell flat. Don't get me wrong, this was a good movie, but if you give me Birdman last year and this movie 1 year later, I'm going to compare them. And that's really where The Revenant comes up short in my opinion. It's nowhere near as good of a movie as Birdman. But that's not really saying much because guess what? No movie this year was as good as Birdman. So based on what I've said so far, this movie could still be deserving of winning Best Picture. So what did I love about this movie? First and foremost, I would say the direction. Even if it's not the guy's best movie, I don't think that any other director this year comes close apart from maybe Quentin Tarantino. Those long camera shots that just go on and on, that really characterize the guy's last movie, are back. Kind of. One of my favorite scenes of the movie was the one that they used in the trailer where Leonardo DiCaprio's character and all the other men are being attacked by Native Americans. The camera just follows him for like 5 full minutes, and it's not like a scene in Birdman where people are just walking and talking. There are people falling out of trees and getting shot all around, like serious stunt work, and it's crazy to think how many shots they must have taken to get this one right. Another thing I loved about this movie was the acting. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy are pretty much the leads in this movie, and they were both great. A complaint some people might have is that Tom Hardy can be pretty hard to understand at times. I felt like he could have used some subtitles. People have said this about him in some other movies, but you kind of let that go just because he's so good in everything. Leo was good, there was nothing wrong with his performance. Now, I'm going to be a little more critical of him than the rest of the cast because he just won the award last night for Best Actor. It's just an ongoing thing in Hollywood, the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have an Academy Award. Should he have one? Sure, I think so. Should it be for this performance? No, I don't think so. I don't understand how he didn't win for his role in The Aviator. So in the Best Actor category this year, it's kind of a toss-up, which for me means that nobody stood out as someone who really deserves an Oscar for their acting. I'd put Leo on pretty even footing with Michael Fassbender and Steve Jobs, but neither performances blew me away, and I'd in fact probably give the edge to Fassbender. Domhnall Gleeson has got a pretty significant supporting role in this movie, and I know that I was critical of him in my Star Wars review, but I also mentioned how big of a fan I am, and this is why. He went above and beyond what was required in this role. Yeah, I know most actors, if they're not like a lead role, they might just phone it in and read the lines, but this movie was another example of why I think this guy is going to be one of the best actors of his generation. Last actor I'm going to mention is this guy, Will Poulter. I first saw him in We're the Millers, which was a pretty horrible movie, then in Maze Runner, which was better, and now in this. I'll say that he seems to be headed in the right direction. Similar compliments to what I gave Gleason. He really put a lot into what was a small supporting role in the movie, and a lot of his stuff was just him and Tom Hardy acting alone together, which, especially in this movie, would probably scare the hell out of most actors. My favorite part of the movie was, of course, the bear scene. This scene was brutal, and the CGI was perfect. I really don't understand how they did it, and I'll probably have to look into behind the scenes stuff once it comes out on Blu-ray. Watching this, you felt bad for Leo's character and the bear. They were both just like in the wrong place at the wrong time. Best scene in the entire movie in my opinion. which is a real problem, because this scene, along with the Native Americans attacking, those both take place in like the first 30 minutes of the movie, and nothing afterwards really comes close. The movie kind of flatlined for me after the bear scene, up until maybe the fight scene at the very end of the movie. So, for all the reasons mentioned during this review, I think that The Revenant deserves a score of 82%. Not a bad movie. In fact, a pretty good movie that doesn't quite live up to the expectations set by its predecessor. Does it deserve to win Best Picture? I don't personally think so, but like in the category for Best Actor, it's really not a standout year, so I can't really advocate for an alternative. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you did, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.